This is Boss Talk. You tuning into the Notion Podcast. This is your boy Dizzy D Spill with my co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
So what's up, brother? How you feeling, man? I asked you when you first came in here, but the people need to know.
I'm cool. I'm cool. How you feeling?
Yo, I could be cooler. This weather is disrespectful, but no complaints worth talking about.
You know, it's crazy because I didn't even know it was this hot until I had to leave. Came outside like, what the is this what y'all doing out here? Wow.
Hey, that's a good way to put it. Like, man, I didn't even know y'all was going through all of that until I had to deal with it and experience it, right? Nah, that's real, man.
Exercise for the first time. Like, people do this on purpose? Y'all came outside on purpose?
Like, what's wrong with y'all?
It's hot out here.
Nobody's even forcing you. But yeah, man, the weather is different. But, you know, like I said, no complaints worth talking about. You know, I know we occasionally do our Boss Talk episodes, and I know there's some conversations worth having. You know, I know we were discussing a little bit of business off mic that I'm pretty sure we can elaborate on mic, but just diving into it, some of the topics that, you know, we wanted to go over, you know, and this isn't nothing, I don't think it's anything new for us being here in California, but, you know, with certain businesses moving out of California, I thought what was interesting is some of the reasons why certain businesses were moving out of California I thought was interesting. We know Chevron is, you know, moving on to Texas. We know Tesla and SpaceX headquarters is moving, you know,
to... they did.
Or yeah, they did. And it was weird because didn't they move and then come back or something like that a few years ago? Or maybe a certain division just moved and maybe everything didn't move yet?
Yeah, I don't know the specifics on how that was all set up. I just know that Elon Musk decided to move.
Now, his reasoning was more like political reasons, right?
And SpaceX out of California.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
He moved both his companies because Governor Newsom signed a law that bars school districts in the state from requiring parents to be notified of a child's gender identification change. So if your child decides they want to change their gender, you don't have to be notified.
Yeah. Yeah, when I talked about that with a couple people, I thought that was wild. I thought it was crazy.
It's really crazy when you think about the fact that, like, I don't know if you remember the viral video that went around that had, like, I guess it was drag queens at a...
Yeah, I seen that. It was like a kids event, a children's event.
It was at a school. It wasn't. I don't think it was children. I think it was like at a school, bro.
Like they had them come in as like guests to do. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember actually seeing the footage. I didn't know what the environment was, but I definitely remember seeing that footage.
Well, just because it's like they introduced that type of stuff to children. They don't know anything about that. They have, like, I knew boy, girl, but like outside of that as a kid, I didn't know anything else to where I, like, to the point where I could, like, wait, I could change. If I want to be a girl, I could be a girl. I mean, like, if you'd have told me that as a kid, I'd have been like, ew.
Yeah.
They got cooties.
Yeah. I mean, to keep it a being, like, yeah, you had the kitty vaccination, right? Was it
circle dot.
Now I got the cootie shot. Yeah. So it's like for a certain age, you didn't even
last week.
I still religiously get those.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
But you're right. Like, you get to that age where you had the no girls allowed clubs, and you didn't. If you had a younger sibling that was your little sister, no, you can't hang out with us. We finna go do cool stuff, right?
Unless you have to babysit.
Yeah, unless you had to babysit.
Sit over there and don't tell mom what you saw.
Yeah.
Here's a sucker. Shut up. Shit.
But like seeing now that's even, I didn't even care.
Nah,
when I was a kid, like, Saturday morning cartoons, cereal, my favorite PJs, and toys are going outside playing video games. I didn't care nothing about any of that other stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, I think that children have a right to not care about that stuff.
I mean, yeah.
That's what the conversation is.
Child, you should be a child. You're supposed to be a child. You're supposed to be thinking about child stuff. Yeah. Like, it was like, I don't know if I sent you that reel, but it was like, this dude was acting as a kid, and he was running. He like, ha ha, rainbow, yeah, colors, rainbow. And it's like, oh, that dude gay. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, rainbow mean you gay now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because Skittles has a rainbow. Lucky Charms got rainbows.
But thing, I'm just saying though, like it's just like, as a kid, it's a rainbow. It's colors. That's exciting to you. Like seeing the water and the sunlight, and like, you see a sprinkler, you see a rainbow. Like you're like, oh my god. And then somebody says that's gay, and as a kid, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. For sure.
It doesn't make sense. So you introduce a kid to that type of stuff and that type of info at a young age. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then they say, oh, I want to be a girl. Because to them, it's like, oh, I get to be like them. It ain't really, they're not thinking about it on that deep of a scale.
Exactly.
So then your kid playfully decides to change your gender. Mm-hmm. And you're not notified?
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, it's disrespectful, and it feels invasive into the privacy of what practices you're teaching, your children in habits and nature, right? But I think a bigger problem is the contradiction in a lot of it, because you can't buy cigarettes until you're a certain age. You can't get a license until you're a certain age. You can't get alcohol to your certain age. And I don't know if they've changed it, but I remember there was a point in time where you couldn't even get a rental car unless you were a certain age. So you have all of these things in place that considers you an adult, all the way up into considering you a certain type of adult. I remember when I got out of high school, I had started working at FedEx, and I was 18, and I looked into being, the delivery drivers. And at that time period, you couldn't even be a delivery driver until you had to be at least 21. You know what I'm saying? So even within the culture of companies, they didn't want you to do certain things. I don't even think you were able to open a 401k until you were at least 21 years old. So if you're sitting on a bag at 19, you just got to sit on that bag. You can't even set up your retirement. And these are things from that time period. So to go from those things where it does make sense why they have certain parameters for certain ages to like, okay, well, yeah, you know what I mean? You could do whatever you want at this age and your parents don't even have to know. To me, it sounds a little, it could come off a little predatorial in how you want to put it, because it's like, what are you enforcing? What are you encouraging? How many more things do you want the parents to be left out of the loop with?
Like when that dad walked in to pick his son up from school and they had him in a dress.
Yes.
And now, what if because of what they were implementing or teaching or exposing the kid to, he made that choice and they honor that choice, and the parent doesn't know, but at school he is being treated like a girl or she is being treated like a boy, and that's messing with their whole mental and how they operate, and they come home and you're wondering why they tripping out and spazzing out, not understanding that they're being programmed because of a choice that they made that you have no idea of.
Well, yeah. I mean, it goes to the whole scenario of like, you're trying to protect a certain level of privacy, but what if that kid decides to change? They want to change what they identify as. That's and the thing, they start getting bullied and beat up on, and then you're like, well, why is this happening to my kid? Because bullying has never stopped. It's just innovated, right? And then how do you explain to the parent That a kid is being made fun of from a choice that they made, that they chose to keep you out of.
We're not even gonna get into that. Go back and say you said protect the privacy. As a kid, you don't have any privacy.
Well, of course not.
You know how many doors in my room got kicked in by
or
my
removed?
parents? Privacy as a child?
Right.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, as you get deeper and deeper into it, it starts to like get more and more wild. So I could understand why you would uproot and move your company.
Yeah, because well, a lot of times when people do start businesses, right, there's a certain level of morale and integrity for personally that goes into that business. Like when you started, Kicks and Sneakers, there's a lot of I mean, it's within your name. For those that that don't know the story, you were Kicks. Sneakers was your collection, right?
Well, so real quick, when I started blogging, I was blogging about sneakers, shoes, my shoes that I love, shoes. Like that was my world. Like it was shoes, and I went by the moniker Kicks because initially I wanted to be me and my shoes.
Right.
I feel like that was like kind of, so since I was blogging under the moniker Kicks, I was just like, it's gonna be Kicks and Sneakers. I feel like it flowed better. You know what I'm saying? It made sense, and I was hoping more people would ask questions instead of just being like, oh well, Kicks and Sneakers, isn't that redundant? But some people did, some people didn't. But yes, I am Kicks and Sneakers are my shoes. So yeah, me and my Kicks, me and my sneakers, me and my shoes. Yeah,
right. It's no different than somebody calling you. I mean, when I was going to private school, people called me where I came from, or that that's Cali Cool, or that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm from, or whatever the case is. So you get these nicknames or whatever the case is, and then you manifest it into whatever it is that you do or include it. And I just believe that when you came up with your name, just like when I came up with my brand name, or anybody that's doing something, there's a part of you being attached to that. And when something outside of that is challenging the moral or the integrity of your brand, you're going to be like, you know what, it's time for me to uproot and go somewhere else where it is protected.
When you said that morale and integrity, I thought corporate culture.
Yes.
Business culture. And I know you're familiar with that because of the company that you work for. There's a certain type of culture that they have. Every business has a certain type of culture. Sometimes there's a lack of that.
Yes.
But when they do have one, they stand very strongly on that.
Yeah.
Because that is, in a sense, what helps to identify that company and make them stand out.
Absolutely.
So if we operate a certain way and I hold the values and the culture of not just my company but my employees to a certain standard, and I stand on that, then when it is challenged by laws where we are operating, then I feel it's my responsibility to protect that in the best way possible in order to protect my employees. So if I'm gonna uproot, if I need to uproot, I'm gonna do that because I'm not gonna let anything challenge my company and my business. And then on top of that, there's other. It just helps because there's other laws and how can I put this? Regulations, fees and fines.
Yeah.
That can, because all right, so SpaceX and X moved their headquarters because of that.
Yeah.
Chevron moved their headquarters because of all of the money that it was losing.
Yeah. Because of certain laws and policies.
Like they had an issue with they were charged for something and they pleaded no contest, but the amount of money that they spent in settling that, millions. Let's see if I got some type of info here. Let me see. I don't remember exactly what I. Let's see. No, not that one. No. Yeah. So here's one of them.
Okay.
Because they have a refinery in Richmond. Chevron does.
Okay.
And so it says that the refinery has been recently plagued by a series of flaring incidents, and in February, Bay Area air quality regulators announced a pair of settlements with Chevron and another East Bay refinery to meet stricter emission standards by 2026. The city of Richmond has placed a measure on the November ballot that would tax Chevron $1 for each barrel of oil processed at its refinery there over the next 50 years, if approved by voters. Proponents of the measure say it will help Richmond remedy the local effects of pollution from the refinery, the third largest in the state. The Richmond City Council said the tax could generate as much as $90 million per year for the city. Bruh, 90 million?
Well, it's kind of a challenging scenario because, California, especially places like the Bay Area and the LA area, have struggled with, pollution, smog, all of that. And one of the reasons why it's been such a big deal here is because California is an agriculture state.
Not even just that, clean energy.
Yeah. And so when you have that, plus that law that the governor passed, was it 2030 or 2035? They want everything to be pretty much electric as far as cars, and you'll be paying like a hefty fee just to have a gas powered.
I thought it was next year. I was going to be on the bike.
There's already people converting to bikes.
Looking at 15 speeds and whatnot.
But yeah, like I see both sides of that.
Gotta leave half an hour early.
I do see both sides of that, my guy. So I mean, that's a tough one. But Texas is also like the old West too. I mean, you could carry a weapon. You don't really need a.
Yes, you do.
What?
You about to say a permit?
I think you need a permit to conceal. I don't think you need a permit to carry. Like I think you can open carry, but to conceal carry, you need a permit.
So ain't nobody got gun licenses. They're just out there whipping out. Nah, because I think you gotta at least have a gun license.
It's like that. I think it's like that in AZ.
You gotta have a gun license to carry.
You sure?
You have to.
Man, look it up.
Yeah,
I know Texas and Arizona are very, very different with their gun laws.
Ginger ale, some Lay's chips, a pack of backwoods, and a 4.5. Yes. Yeah, the black one.
Yeah.
You just put it all in the bag.
Like out here, we can't open carry.
What? A free case of ammo? Sure.
Yeah.
Shut up. You gotta at least have it. No, they're not.
Because out here, you have to have a license to own, but you can't even open carry in California. But in order to conceal carry, you need a CCW. And I'm telling you, a lot of people go to Texas because of it's either a financial reason or it's like policies and laws.
Well, yeah, if we're talking businesses. Most people move out there just because it's cheaper.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the average person, they're gonna go out there like, hey, the rent is, and it's funny to me when people do leave because I don't see that much of a financial gain. I just see people moving out there so they can be a hyper consumer somewhere else.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just like, well, I want to get into that, but I feel like it'll segue into something else. So let me say this first, because there's other companies that have moved to Texas from California in recent years, including Oracle, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, Charles Schwab, and Toyota Motor North America. So Texas is ranked number one for net job gains from businesses relocating to the state from 2010 to 2019, with most of those jobs coming from California. More than 25,000 businesses, excuse me, and 281,000 jobs came to Texas, compared to some 18,000 businesses and 179,000 jobs that left the state.
And that's where we get into more of what we're going to talk about with the employment rate kind of fluctuating.
It ain't fluctuating.
Yeah.
It's going up. It's no. It's not. It's not like the stock market, bro. The employment rate is going up.
Yeah.
I like how you like try to softball.
Well, the reason why I say fluctuate is because one company over here is like, yo, we're providing 120,000 jobs combined with this company, this company, and this company. But what they're not saying is like how many of the people that got laid off because that company has moved or that company decided to cut the fat. You know what I'm saying? And that does happen. I mean, the company that I currently work for cut 40 jobs, bro.
We ain't got to talk about how I got laid off right now. We could do that off mic, but sheesh.
This dude got a severance for $200K.
It's my last episode, by the way.
Surprise! Catch me on the new channel. Nah, but I mean, yeah, there is a upscale to it, but like I said, there's always that other missing component of like people that are losing work. You know what I'm saying? They are losing jobs or whatever. I don't know for how long, but you know, I think the move does make sense when you see all of the changes here in California specifically, and a lot of the people here unhappy with it, whether it's, you know, residents, home ownership being challenging, to businesses having issues with certain laws as well as laws that are affecting their moral. Yeah, they're gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna leave.
Well, because those laws and regulations are costing them money, and nobody starts a business to spend and waste money.
Yeah, you actually want to use other people's money, and when you have to start using your money, then it's a problem. You know.
True, but back to this unemployment rate. It's up 4.3%. And they were expecting it to stay unchanged from the 4.1%, even though that's high.
Yeah.
And then, like you're saying, they added jobs, but those jobs are in specific sectors like healthcare and government. You know what I'm saying? More on the state and local scales as far as government goes. But on the same breath, those are like special sector jobs where you have to have certifications and credentials to even. It's not like you could just, you know, walk in like, you know what, I heard y'all was hiring, so I want to see about being a senator. Think I might have a go at that. Yeah, like, you know,
I mean, if you keep it real, it seems like that's what's been going on in politics. Somebody just decides that they want to run for something, and here you are, you're a competitor now. So I mean, bro, we had Terminator was our governor, dog. Like, anything is possible.
He dealt with a lot of sticky situations, though. You know, did you see Eraser?
Yeah, the movie Eraser with him and
Can't believe he made it out of that.
We're terrible. We're terrible.
Nah, but back to what we was talking about. Gosh, you threw me all off topic.
Y'all gonna throw the blame at me. It's crazy work.
Unemployment rate.
Yeah.
People ain't got no jobs. That's rough. It's rough out here. And
yeah.
I was reading an article there talking about ghost jobs, where jobs post openings and make it seem like they're hiring when they're not. It's a cold game out here.
Okay, so without getting too deep into it and causing an argument in our comment section, there's this back and forth, because obviously the two most common topics are the Olympics and these politics, right? And one of the things that I keep hearing from a lot of black conservatives is how voting for that side is going to grant better opportunities and benefits to be able to be self-sufficient, right? The problem that I have with those individuals saying that is those are people that are already self-sufficient. But when you bring up a scenario like somebody that's having a hard time finding work, and you say, well, look, the bright side is from where we're at with who's in office, you can go out there and do your own thing. But what a lot of people aren't understanding is that's not how it works. Every state has different regulations, different fees, and different scenarios. And just, having a conversation with two people that do this, that have their own businesses, and this whole self-sufficient bubble that you guys keep talking about. Well, show us the blueprint on how easy it is to get that done.
I'd be pissed off, like, bro. Doing my own thing is what got me in this situation. Somebody help! Like, what do you mean, go do my own thing?
Yeah,
like,
bro. Like,
that's why I'm here. It's not working.
Right. And it's just like when I hear that, it's irritating because there's a whole lot of pieces. First of all, we already know it's the same bird, bro. We've had this conversation before. Left wing, right wing, it's the same bird, okay? But when I hear the heavy advocacy for, like, well, this will, you'll have better opportunity. Listen, there's always opportunities in every single conversation we have. Where are the resources for those opportunities? Where are the how-tos?
Right out of reach.
Exactly. So
right out of reach. How-tos. Haven't you seen all the gurus on IG? I'm gonna send you somebody.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure that person's gonna trigger me, but
114,000 jobs. That's what the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported. 114 jobs.
114,000 jobs that are available, right?
No, 114,000 jobs, and it's down from 206,000. It's almost 100,000 jobs knocked off.
Right.
I just so many thoughts just went through my head because I'm like, inflation, recession, high unemployment rates.
But yeah, man, you could do your own thing.
Because of the recession, companies are scaling back.
Hell yeah.
They are, you say trimming the fat, I feel like they're starting to cut into the meat.
Yeah.
They are laying off. They are downsizing.
They're getting rid of positions. They're like laying people off and then eliminating those positions.
Yeah. That's where all the jobs are really starting to go to.
Right. Inflation
is extremely high. You paying the same prices to do. I mean, you paying more to do the same things now.
Yeah. And that's like my mom told me her gardener went up. And I said, why? Like, usually when you go up in price,
went up where?
Yeah, when you go up in price as a business, right? You don't go up in price because things are expensive for you. You usually go up in price because there's traditionally there's an upgrade in service, or there's a benefit.
He said traditionally. Don't nobody follow tradition no more. But go on.
But I just say that because now when people raise their prices, they expect you to accept it because you're in business with them. And, well, that's where negotiations come in at. Okay, well, if you're going to go up in price, I don't care who you are or what you're doing. If I do business with you and you're going up in price, you can't just tell me, hey, well, I'm going up in price because it's expensive out here. Well, my money ain't went up and it's expensive out here. So do I need to go find somebody else that's going to honor the price that we agreed on? You know what I'm saying?
Well, my prices went up is because I started adding more stuff to the service.
Exactly. And now people are using the excuse of, well, it's expensive out here. Well, duh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course it is. And so, of course we're all feeling it when we go shopping for food or whatever the case is. But like you said, employment is down and prices are up. And what do you expect to come out of that? A lot of these corporations.
The purge.
I mean, it's kind of looking like that. But I just see a lot of greed catching up, because you got to think when you look at it from a pyramid standpoint, from the top of the pyramid all the way down to the bottom, and you see the price and you see the pay gaps. The people at the very bottom, at the grassroots level, that's doing all the work is paid the least. The people that manage those people are being paid well. The people that are over those people are paid extremely well. And then those people at the top, board members and everyone else, are living like kings.
Yes, making them millions while you make pennies.
Right. And then when certain things happen, it's like, oh, well, this economy. And it's like, well, no, that's not necessarily true. It's just like when you listen to experts that talk about money saying, yeah, you should have 6 months of savings for all of your bills, whether it's mortgage or rent and this, that, and the other.
Bro,
how many jobs are paying you to where you can save?
I've been saving for 6 months, and this is what I got. That's the only 6 months savings I got. Like, yo, 6 months of saving? Yeah. I've been saving for 6 months.
But these companies are going out of business after being in a lockdown for 2 months.
Like, well,
how many businesses shut down during the pandemic because they couldn't operate the way they used to after 2 or 3 months? Where's their 6 months of savings at?
I'm hoping mine lasts 6 weeks. Yo,
I still got to turn these cans in. But I feel you.
They still doing that? I need to pull up.
They did shut down one of the recycle spots, so yeah, they coming for everybody. They coming for everybody when it comes to that money, man.
I drove up and just seen that blank spot and was like, yo, I gotta put these back in the garage.
I'll just stay here till we get back.
Wow.
Yeah, but
I definitely need that 4350.
Yeah, need that. Need all of that, man. But it's strange times right now. I mean, I don't knock people.
It's rough.
I don't knock people's pivot though. Depending on
the drug game.
Oh, that's always been there. No, but I mean, working the 9 to 5, man.
It's gone.
Kinda.
No, it ain't no kinda. The drug game's gone, bro.
Yeah.
In California for sure.
Well, yeah, here it's half of it's legal.
What? But I'm sure they're doing fine in the drug game in like Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, so we're out there
Detroit,
like in Mississippi or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, but here it's overpriced. Nobody wants anything from here. But when I say pivot, I mean I've seen people do more independent delivery type services. And
drugs.
Nah, man, it's not.
Duh.
It ain't to you. It ain't everybody, man. It might be like medical
the rest
supplies.
Of people are using it. It's rough out here. Either you selling or smoking. What you trying to do?
I'll sell. But
I got blocks. If you buying, I got rocks.
Well, but this does trigger a lot of different thoughts when I see some of the outlandish things I see online about who's broke, who's not, who should be paying for what. It's one of the most meaningless conversations when we live in times where more than half of the country don't have what they claim they have. You know what I'm saying? And these times right here could actually be beneficial if people were wise enough and more open enough to work as a community.
Wasn't it you that shared an article with me and it said something like, if you have like 4,800 in assets, you're richer than like 60% of the country? It was
it was a wild article, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It was like, it was something along the lines of that, and I was like, that's crazy.
I was like 40.
Yeah,
I got that crazy. In shoes.
Yeah,
address me as sire.
Or Sultan. But
Your Majesty words.
It's insane when you think about it like that. But the crazy part is that's why I've collected things over time, because I know that certain things may go up in value. Like even with some of the shoes I have, they have went up in value. I probably would be disruptive in the seller's market though, because I'll be like, nah, just give me this for it. I'm already making a profit, but I have no intentions on doing that now. But it's a troubling time, because they keep reiterating this scenario in the economy where it's like more than half of this country does not have a savings account for a $500 repair. That's how bad it is. And so, hearing, like I said, hearing conservatives or black conservatives say, yeah, you have more of an opportunity to have free reign being your own business. But that's a very misleading blanket statement because of what goes into starting, managing, and upholding a certain standard to have people coming back to keep that business operating.
Standard? I'm trying to get money. Catch me on Etsy. All sales are final.
I'm on Alibaba, but but yeah,
because I mean, I think I get what you're saying, and if you're going about it the right way, then 100% yes. But think about how many people I've just went to like Michael's, bought crafts, and the next thing you know, they're on IG like, yeah, so I did this and selling them for 20, and the next thing you know, they got like a bucket of orders going out, and like, thank you everybody, you're so nice, and now all of a sudden they have a business. Because they did something arts and crafty, and you know what I'm saying, their whole motherhood circle bought everything, but you know what I'm saying, like, it just sometimes it happens like that, bro.
But a lot of us, when we start out doing something and your friends and your family, they jump in and it's like, oh man, I gotta support, I gotta grab this, whatever it is. It's usually, in our community, a lot of times it's clothes or something of that nature. And then as they try to be innovative and they try to release more things, the sales decline, and it's all of a sudden, your prices are being overanalyzed. Your services are being overanalyzed. Everything that you do is being overanalyzed as if you're not spending more or double somewhere else. And that right there is one of the most effective things with being a community. And so that's what happens to a lot of like mom and pop shops. A lot of those mom and pop shops, they gave you a lot of good quality as well as memories and things of that nature. And then what starts happening, either bigger corporations come in and do things for cheaper, or they just kind of, slowly just push you out of whatever space that you're in. And then guess what you do? When all of the mom and pop shops are gone, when all of the small businesses are gone or local businesses are gone, you have the audacity to complain about corporations. But you contributed to those corporations getting all of that stuff out of there.
Moms and pops, because they give me credit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if people want to survive what's going on right now, because I don't think people foresee like what's happening within the next 15 to 20 years. If you don't see that you got to start investing in your environment to keep it helping itself, it's going to get real bad out here. This is a class war, bro. I mean, they keep making conversations about race because it is still there. It's still a big issue, but bro, like, it's really a class issue right now. It's really about being as rich as you can possibly be and destroying everything under that. When you look at how many companies are buying up the real estate, when you look at how many small businesses are closing down or can't even manage or stay afloat, to where you're only dependent on corporations. Well, that's the same thing that goes with jobs. Corporations are going to control the job market, when a lot of started businesses contributed to the job market as well. And people gonna be looking at everybody that can't be an influencer, and the influencer ain't even gonna be a thing.
Because when you say it like that, when the pandemic hit, a lot of stuff shut down, and a lot of people had to find a way. A lot of people found a way and decided to stay in those lanes and operate in those spaces, and that's cool. Not knocking it. You feel me? I can't say I did it because I've been operating since 2014. So, but what happened is, due to finding a way and operating in those lanes and those spaces, like you said, it created a huge gap in the job market. And they have to figure out ways to continue to function as businesses and corporations without the same level of workforce that they used to have. And now a lot of these businesses have shifted to using a lot of robots, automated technology, those type of things, and shifting gears and focusing more on the future and eliminating a lot of the human error.
Yes.
Things. And they were forced to do so because they still needed to operate these companies, but they didn't have the humans for the workforce. So yeah, you're right. They have created the way things are now, where unemployment rates are so high, and it's not just because these companies are downsizing because of the costs and fees and regulations and the overhead, and it's just so much. No, they're also downsizing because they don't need this many employees anymore due to the technology and the advancements, and them knowing that these machines will be more dependable than humans. Human error, like, not showing up for work, showing up late, doing the job wrong. These are all aspects of human error.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And so yeah, they've created this environment now to where it's like those lanes and those spaces you were operating in, they're getting smaller. They're getting tighter. They're getting harder to maintain. Overhead has become more because of the inflation. It's harder to continue to produce money at the same expense because, like, I know for me, for instance, I provide a service. Depending on how you operate in life, my service is either a priority or a luxury. You know, like it's a necessity for some.
Right.
It's a luxury for others. At the end of the day, you have to have disposable income for my service because it's not a necessity. You're not saying, am I gonna get groceries or am I finna deal with kicks and sneakers? Am I finna put gas in the car or am I finna deal with kicks and sneakers?
You need kicks and sneakers to go do both.
Not if I'm headed to work. Because the kicks I function in, you know what I'm saying? Like, steel toe boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean these, nigga. No,
Yeah.
but
got a work event where we got to. I'm about to step on them in these Wolverines,
they're standing on business today. Nah, but you know what I'm saying? Because like I'm in a niche market, and it's not a necessity. You know what I'm saying? When you prioritize things, in a lot of instances, that's gonna be low. It ain't like yeah, okay, just got paid. Let me get rent, and get over to kick sneakers, and I gotta get groceries. Gas. Like it ain't. I'm not up that high.
Yeah.
I would like to be, but I'm not. I have to be realistic. And so, with that being said,
but you've also provided product that could be considered more of a necessity. Depending on the seasons.
True.
You know what I mean?
This is true. But still, though, it's like I have noticed a drop in business because everybody doesn't have the disposable income at the same rate that they used to. Like I said earlier, because of inflation, you're spending more to do the same things, right? And then if that's the case, then your money's thinner. So that means you don't have a lot of disposable income. And then when you do, you have to prioritize things that you might need to do or things that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? To enjoy yourself. Now that, and then in that instance, you might pull up on me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be real, like I admire your modesty when it comes to the way you would see it through the eyes of a customer when it comes to business. But I see it differently. Being a client or a customer, right? I'm gonna look at it like this, and we've discussed this already. The fact that you provide a service that can be effective depending on who the client is what makes it, unique. For example, school's about to come back. There's a lot of single parents out there that may not be able to cash out on school clothes and shoes like normal because of the economy. Your service provides them an outlet to be able to say, you know what, these shoes don't look that bad. I've seen this guy make old shoes look brand new again. Maybe I can stall off shopping right now till later on in the year, maybe tax time or whatever the case is, and just get this done so my kid actually looks at least decent going to school the first week of school.
It's crazy you said that because I do actually have plans to run a back to school special for parents.
Yeah, and that type of consideration can go a long way when you are a, small or local or community-based business. And this is why I was saying that. It's just like, for example, I provide more of a product than a service, right? But the angle and the direction that I'm coming at is I'm looking at what would be considered my competition, because I don't really I don't really have the competition mindset. I'm just in my lane. But if you have to put Lavora Cole as a brand against all of these other brands, I'm not charging what they're charging. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not, and so when you were bringing up, people, they don't have the disposable income, that doesn't stop people from smoking when they want to go buy cigarettes, or when they want to go buy the Mary Jane. That doesn't stop people from drinking when they want to go get some alcohol. They want to turn up because it's Friday night, or the kids are, with their grandparents. It does not stop people from spending money on things that are outside of the necessities.
True, but on the same breath, how they prioritize it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because
well, just don't lie to us and say that money's tight.
Those things that you name, also help to
decompress,
relax, numb the pain, sleep. Like, it all depends on the person and and how they use advice.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
So, but it's not. It's either way though, and then that's another thing. So if it is disposable income and you do have a vice, and that's where your disposable income goes, versus, spending with me. So as a small business, you have seen the decline. You have felt this inflation. You have felt the unemployment. You have felt the recession that they are only starting to acknowledge now, because it is hitting the big businesses, and the 1%ers are feeling it. But we've been in recession for about a year and a half.
Yeah, 2 years. Sure. I mean, even during the pandemic, people were like, yo, what's going to happen with all this money being printed? What's going to happen, with everything being so behind? I mean, I looked on Facebook earlier. I looked on Facebook earlier, and I was seeing so many people complain about their flights. One of those people being my mom, because she went out of town for, pretty much a week, and she enjoyed herself, but the flights were funky. But the crazy thing is when you look at the past episode that we did involving what happened with that, that, I guess, global or national outage,
hacking,
that
spyware,
that basically postponed everything for that day or those days. So what do you think happened to all of those canceled flights? What do you think that happened to all of those things that were booked and things of that nature? As far as rooms, a lot of things got canceled and pushed back, and that can take weeks to get back on track.
I'm saying a lot of these places are still in the midst of recovering.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of places that are operating right now are lucky to be back to operating to some sense of normalcy, because a lot of places that blow hit hard. Whoever hopped on a world computer and downloaded LimeWire, you messed up a lot of stuff. I hope the CD was worth it.
Right.
And I would like a copy.
For real, man. Everybody knows you use Kazaa. But yeah, dude, like when you look at like how things can like snowball, and people, like I said, you do have chart analysts and people like that are like, hey man, this isn't going to look good a year and a half from now, 2 years from now. And then when those 2 years are up, or those few years are up, you're like, oh, it's just like one of the things that Trump did when he was in office is he like cut down like how much the feds were taking out of, your check, right?
See, so...
But he signed that for how long?
I don't know.
Until 2025.
Oh. It's about to get rough.
You see what I'm saying? So everything that you're going through right now, and it's
about to get worse.
Yeah. Like...
Hate to be the bearer of bad news.
I'm just saying, man, like, I can't even sit up here and lie to y'all and be like, you know what, you just got to save your money, and you just got to manage, and you just got to budget. Listen, I bought...
with the quiet storm
I bought... You were tuning in to another session of why in the hell am I doing this? Nah, but even me, I bought some actual books to manage my books, right? Just to go back old school and just like write down everything so I could just see some of the stupidity I might be doing at times, right? But
another technical outage ain't gonna catch me slipping.
Yeah, but I can't sit up here and say like that I have like a remedy or like a skill on what to do in this situation, because this is a situation that is still unique and it's still unfamiliar to most of us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a different way than we've dealt with something that might be similar. There's different ways that we're being affected than maybe something similar that's happened in the past.
Downsize, cut costs, and save. I mean, that's the best. That's the best thing to do. Downsize, cut costs, and save.
Yeah, and try to grow your income as much as you can. I get that.
But see, the thing about it is, like, we just talked about the unemployment rate being high, and inflation, and small business market shrinking. There's not really much of a way to grow your income per se. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are ways to better manage your money. You know what I'm saying? If you are blessed to find a job in this economy, like, hold on to it, because it's difficult to find work. And from what I was reading, the odds of you losing your job, they're not as high as you might think. Because while there might be a lot of people out there that want to work, a lot of people are not qualified to work.
Yeah.
So, you know, downsize and save. Like, this is where you cut costs, and that goes for small businesses as well. This is where you, like you said, you bought books to go over your books. Small business owners should be doing the same and looking to see where you can downsize and cut costs for your overhead to better help you manage the business and figure things out. Because I have seen an increase in services that are needed to help you maintain a business as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From website platforms to hosting platforms, and, you know what I'm saying, shipping rates and packaging, a lot of stuff. The numbers have gone up, so it's costing more to maintain a business. So, wherever you can, like, not cut corners, cut cost. You understand what I'm saying? Because the one thing you don't want to do is cut corners. I can't even say it's cutting costs, because at that point it's cutting corners. Because when you cut costs and it starts to affect your quality, that's when I feel like you're starting to cut corners.
And that's what a lot of corporations do.
Right. And that's why I wanted to make that, you know what I'm saying, specific. Cut costs, not at the rate of cutting quality, because then you're cutting corners. Cut costs so that you can maintain a business, maintain your quality, you know what I'm saying, and shrink your overhead as much as possible. Because, I mean, even I've done so. Yeah. And like we were talking about that, you know what I'm saying, off mic, and it was just like, it's more efficient to operate like that in certain instances. It limits certain things. Yeah. But you have to look at cost and effect. Is it really worth it? Yeah. Like I said, to execute a certain thing, I would need to make B happen. I would need to do A. Yeah. And that's not going to equal C though. So it's not worth it. Yeah. You have to weigh things out and really, man.
I also think that, like, you have
to scale shit now is. Whew.
Well, one of the things that I've learned, like, reading, when I read, like, books on business and starting your business, and one of the common things that I would see, and I'm pretty sure you've done it in the past, is a lot of times people, for those that do start out and they kind of hit the ground running where they're making a lot of money, one of the things that they make the mistake in doing is paying themselves a little too much. You want to pay yourself as minimal as possible and funnel as much as what you do through your business, you know what I mean, to where even though that business is affecting your livelihood, but because it's tied into the business, you're not struggling. You know what I mean? And what I see a lot of people do is they make a lot of money with whatever they did. They didn't expect it to blow up. And so they make a lot of money. They spend a lot of money. And then they're not preparing for the rainy days where it's like, hey, man, I done went 3 or 4 months without selling product. But thank God that the money I made in profits is covering all of the expenses until something else hits or until we get out of this rut. And I think that's what happened with a lot of bigger companies. They're dependent on the projected sales for something to happen. And then something hits them from left field. And it's like, oh, we didn't expect that.
That's
well, now we got to close up shop.
Matter of fact, that's been happening at Apple. They have been recording loss after loss.
Yeah, I mean, that one of the things that, you know, we had on the topic list was Berkshire Hathaway. Warren Buffett's business or investing company pulled billions out in shares. You know what I'm saying? And he did that. I think he did that with. I think they also did that with Bank of America too. So I mean, you know, when you're investing with that kind of money, you're looking at all of the moves that's being made and what their losses are and projections and charts and things of that nature.
100%. But let's rewind it a little bit, right? Because you said something when you were talking about unemployment rates and finances and money. And you were saying looking ahead to what's coming and preparing for that, right? Mm-hmm. People see him selling things and they're like, what's wrong with these companies because he's selling things off? Like I said, if I am aware that Apple, a company I have no stock in, no investing in, I don't own Apple anything except fruit, okay? If I'm aware of the losses being recorded quarter after quarter after quarter and the drop in consistency, you don't think he's not aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
So if it was about the company itself, don't you think he would have did that a little while ago? It's more about, bro, it said that he has liquidated close to 277 billion or something like that. Liquidated.
Yeah.
So if he's looking ahead to what's coming, if he's forecasting for how things might go and what might happen with these businesses and how he might need to be putting more away and saving more and being in preparation for what's to come, that's what people should be looking at. They're looking at the company like, why did he sell? Forget the company.
Yeah.
Look deeper into his reason for selling.
Right.
And not just with this specific company, Bank of America, and with all these other companies that he's pulling all of this money out of.
And a lot of them are intertwined with each other, probably have contracts with each other. I mean, when you're in that type of tax bracket, you know, you kind of have the drop on what's going on. Oh, they fired whoop-de-whoop? Well, that's going to affect stocks. Or they're signing on a whoop-de-whoop. Like, I'll give you one example where I kind of had that fruition, and you talk about fumble the bag. So before all that GameStop Reddit stuff went down, I was going to buy into GameStop when it was only $3 a share, only because they had hired a new CEO. And a lot of times when a new CEO comes in, they try to be innovative. They try to come up with creative things that may boost up, you know, the stocks because of maybe certain purchases or certain offers or certain promotions. And I was like, oh, I'll get to it. It's only at $3. And then maybe like a couple months went by and then boom, out of nowhere, the stock price started skyrocketing. The point that I'm making is when you're an investor and you see certain forecasts ahead of certain changes that are being made, you're going to pull your money for certain reasons. For example, Bezos sold a lot of his Amazon shares right before the pandemic happened. It was in February. The pandemic happened in March of 2020.
Oh, I know when it happened.
So what I'm saying is they see certain things, and like you said, it wasn't about the company's going to be there. What moves are they making? Some people pull their money out and they'll take some just to buy shares at a cheaper price because they know it's going to dip. But
that ain't the case.
But that's not the case here. But the case here is like something is coming where it's like, okay, there's going to be some massive changes. There's going to be some serious.
There's going to be a lot of shifts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's one of them things where it's almost like whoever is in a position to have whoever is in a position that has the most cash readily available, not tied up in anything, that's who's gonna, like, cash is king. Because I mean, like, you think about everything going on, bro, like with that technical outage, stocks, stop it. New York Stock Exchange shut down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's just the banks are shut down.
Yep. Gold bricks.
I'm sleeping on those.
Silver bricks.
Those are
a bag of diamonds. Yeah. I mean, But the thing is that stuff was important because that's what the money used to be backed by. A lot of it's not backed by that anymore. So who knows what they're trying to back it by? I mean, even crypto, which is a lot of hard. It's difficult for people to understand, but even crypto is backed by something. Yeah, crypto, not crypto.
No, okay. It's all good.
I did like what you said earlier as far as in like downsizing it, because that's something that a lot of people, us as a community, as a collective, have a hard time understanding. And even in my household, we made adjustments. Like we have like a menu schedule where it's like, yo, at all times we have these ingredients in the house, so we're able to make this or make that, and I feel like we're going to the store and spending more. So we've made and are continuing to make those adjustments. I mean, I don't think we could downsize any Mars.
Peanut butter and jelly
and noodles. But if you make them homemade, it's healthier. But
I was just talking about the 3 ingredients, so I can always make something. I'm so sick. PB&J's.
You can survive off of those
consistently, all the nutrients.
But do you believe that we're in a critical time right now with smaller businesses needing to community and smaller businesses need to be on the same page?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's too late for that.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't.
A lot of small business owners have like they felt shunned by the community.
Of course we do.
You know what I'm saying? And so in that way, you're not really looking for a community anymore. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
You want to know something weird? Like when I started my brand, it was for the community, but I wasn't dependent on the community only because of past experiences and things that I've done that the community could have been involved with it before. So when I had that understanding, I went into that mindset like, hey, listen, it's cool if friends, family, and community, decides to contribute whatever way that they do, but I'm trying to have a greater influence and impact with what I'm doing, because I have a little bit of a controversial mindset. My mindset isn't about trying to give back necessarily just to the community that I come from, because there's communities outside of my community that I come from that look exactly like my community that can get take. Yo, you had kind of a Dave Chappelle type of aura when you said, I'm trying to take it off.
Man, I'm just saying, like.
But I mean, but that is true. Like, that is true. So a lot of small businesses do feel like
it's like you said that, and
abandoned.
I feel like you brainwash yourself into believing that, because you need the community, even if whether it's your community, bigger community, different. You need some type of community. You need it.
Well, yeah, you need a community, but. Not necessarily the one you come from. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Like one of my favorite Boosie interviews was when he talked about how not all, but the majority of the rappers die from where they come from. So when you think about how embarrassing that is, to make it huge, be influential, actually probably bring some kind of money or attention to your city because of your name and brand, just for that very environment to take you out, it's kind of sick. You know what I mean? So when I say like my community, as far as in where I come from, I'm talking about where I'm familiar at, where people know me at and understand my backstory and understand my intentions. A lot of times, most of the time, your support comes from strangers before it comes from the people you know, and the people you know are your biggest haters. So when I say community, I'm saying the community that you build based off of what your mission is, your mission statement is, your ideas, your beliefs. Finding like-minded people like that and attracting them to what you do, and hopefully that being the catalyst to growing and expanding your business. Because so many of us, no matter if you're a small business owner, it don't matter if you're a performer or whatever the case is, most of us know how hard it is to break through that ceiling of saying, yo, this is why you should rock with what I do. And a lot of times what happens is when somebody else rocks with what you do, then it's like, oh, I didn't realize they rocked with you the way that they did, so yeah, I guess you'll have my support. And that's when fuck
your support, just give me your money.
That's where it comes from when you say that's why a lot of small businesses feel the way they feel, as far as in having that bad taste in their mouth about
we getting personnel specifically. The service I provide, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for a collector like my caliber, my standard, 9 times out of 10, you know how to clean your shoes.
Now?
No.
I was about to say, you know my stories.
All right, so like, because you're a collector.
Yeah.
But you ain't fucking with me. So, but what I'm saying though is like, you know how to clean your shit, and you're not gonna come to me unless it's something that you know better than to fuck with.
Mm-hmm. 1 o'clock in the morning is bad.
You know what? These shoes is canvas, suede, and nubuck. I'm not even finna. I'm gonna go to him.
I'm gonna keep it up. Some of them I don't even know what they are. Just bro, listen here.
That's when but that's what I'm saying. That's when I'll see the collectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my service wasn't so much made for the collectors as it was the average shoe wearer, which is a larger community,
mm-hmm.
which is a broader spectrum, and
right.
That's because you'll buy shoes because you like them.
Yeah.
Not being aware of the materials or the upkeep or the maintenance necessary to keep them looking as good as when you first bought them.
Right.
And so then you do something to mess them up, you get them dirty, or you attempt to clean them and you get it wrong, and then you come to me. That's who the service is for. It's for the community, like the average community. It ain't so much for the collectors, because collectors know how to clean shoes. Collectors have been doing this for long enough. And if you're a new collector, right? If you're new to this, you know what I'm saying? If you're serious, you've learned how to clean them. Mm-hmm. You've acquired that knowledge to where it's like, unless it's really serious, that's when I'll go to him. So you're a new collector because you've been messing with shoes for a minute, but you're at a point to now where your collection is like, you got options, and you have taken the time to acquire the kits, the materials, and the necessary knowledge to be able to clean your kicks. In rare instances, you're gonna do what? You're either gonna call me or bring them straight to me. That's what I expect from collectors.
Well, now I'm prepared for these kids.
But what I'm saying is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I didn't do it for the community. Like, my services are strictly meant for the broader community.
Yeah.
The people who enjoy shoes but aren't so familiar with how to maintain them or upkeep them. That's cool. Just bring them to me. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
But they don't acknowledge that.
That community or just people in general?
A little bit of both.
Okay. And see, my perspective is, when I started with what I did, it was to have another option for things that may be similar, but maybe, it's overpriced, man. Come on, man. $80 for some sweats or $100 for a hoodie.
And you want to know what's crazy?
You know what I'm saying? Here, listen, I have the same quality. If not better in some instances. Here's another option for you.
I challenge it. I say I have better quality. Because I have seen and I am aware of the materials and how a lot of these designer shirts are made.
And we own
similar
material from those brands or those brands within itself.
I have, No more, because like it's when you're really serious about quality and you spend a certain amount of money to find out something isn't the level of quality you thought it was, it's more in the name.
Right.
That can discourage you from dealing with those type of brands any further.
Yeah, it's very challenging to want to buy from certain brands knowing the truth
And it's
about
crazy because like I was thinking about this earlier today because I was thinking about some shirt designs for some things I want to execute because I want to get some more stuff made specifically for me. I don't really care what the public wants. And I was thinking about a couple of people in my family who I wanted to make some pieces for, and I was like, dang, they're gonna mess around, they're really gonna like the quality, and they're gonna want to buy more, and I'm gonna have to actually like charge them. And I was like, I could charge them I wasn't going to go that route, but I was like, I could charge them a higher rate, and they wouldn't even bat an eye because the quality is there. And I was like, but I don't operate like that. I'm only
got an idea for that I don't want to share with everybody. That might work for
charge, you know what I'm saying, what's necessary to produce the clothing, you know what I'm saying, and make a small profit. The same numbers I always charge.
Right.
And I was just like, damn, I wonder how much better or how much more stuff people will own if these brands thought about it the way that I did, where it's like, I'm not going to charge an arm and a leg. I'm only going to charge what's necessary for me to make a profit and get the product out. Bro, they raping. $200 for a t-shirt that ain't worth $40.
Oh yeah, it's crazy out there.
Bro, you know the stitch count on a big logo is 30.
Looks like it's time to invest in your own machine. Like,
I've been looking. It's
pricey, dog.
It's not even so much the price as it is having an area for setup and production.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's really what it comes down to. And then it's like, I don't really want to become
a manufacturer.
Yeah. For that. I have some other stuff I want to do, but there's a different way I want to go about that. I'm not looking to mass produce. That's definitely more of one made by hand, custom type jump off.
Okay.
I'll give you a little more detail once we're off camera.
Well, I'll say this in closing. Like, I do think that in certain instances, like a lot of people it is too late as far as in trying to contribute to things that have been trying to get attention and trying to show, what they have to offer. But I also believe that there's still time to build on something right now. And that time is limited, because once the economy in the world continues to make these shifts that are going to be indefinite, then it's really going to, stuff is really going to hit the fan. And I just know that lately I've been looking into a lot of, earlier times, before our time, before we were born, how things managed and was maintained. And, when it's election year, people, it's almost like they lose all of this information and knowledge that they once had because they're so hyper focused on current events. And when you look at over time, we can look in history and we can see what's happened. They signed this bill, they signed this law, this made this difficult, but the opportunities are still there. And as long as people are not taking them and taking their time to debate about things that they're not going to completely benefit from, the more you're going to lose time on having a more sustainable and affordable lifestyle within your own community, because you're allowing for other people to make decisions for you. And then when they make the wrong decision, you're upset.
Well, it's like funny, I have to refer back to this, but it's like what Pharrell said, focusing on our own, supporting each other, making sure that we have a community and our community is tight, regardless of what happens, so that when whatever happens does decide to happen, we have our own.
Right. For sure. And it is unfortunate that has to keep being repeated instead of it being burned into majority of our minds that this is, you know what I'm saying? This is the number one, goal or the end all be all. But I digress. Anyways, you've been tuning in to the Notion Podcast. Boss Talk episodes, I always appreciate these. You know where to find us on all platforms: Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, wherever you are comfortable leaving your comments, leave them.
I don't even be on social media. I got them. I don't be on anymore.
That's why you gotta just come to the Notion page, and you might get a rebuttal, you might get something. But anyways, I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building as always,
Johnny Evans.
You've been tuning in to the Notion Podcast. Until next time, peace.